9.2%. That is Rwanda's urban inflation rate for February 2026, up from 8.9 in January. And the data underneath is even more concerning. Let me break it down. NISR released the February CPI data this morning. Here are the three numbers that matter. Urban inflation, 9.2%. That is the rate BNR uses for monetary policy. It has now risen for the third straight month, from 8.0 in December to 8.9 in January to 9.2 now. The trend is clear. Inflation is accelerating. National inflation, 7.9%, up from 7.5 in January. Rural inflation also climbed to 7.0%. This is no longer just a Kigali problem. The entire country is feeling it. And the number I want you to pay the most attention to, core inflation, 9.6%. That is the rate after you strip out volatile food and energy. I will explain why this number matters more than the headline in a moment. The biggest driver of inflation this month is still health, up 71% year on year. That is imported medicine costs, and it has been extreme for months now. But what is new this month is energy. The energy index is up 20%. That is electricity tariffs and fuel prices flowing through the economy. Housing, water, and electricity costs are up 12.3%. That is your rent, your power bill, your cooking fuel. These are expenses you cannot avoid. Restaurants and hotels, up 19.9%. Eating out is becoming a luxury. Alcohol and tobacco, up 18.3%. Bread and cereals, up 11.7%. Education, up 11.5%. These are not optional categories. These are basic needs. The only categories growing below 5% are vegetables at 3.4, recreation at 4.8, food overall at 4.6, and communication at 0.6. Everything else is running hot. Here is the number that should worry you the most. Core inflation, which strips out seasonal food and energy prices, is 9.6%. That is higher than the headline 9.2. Why does that matter? When core inflation is lower than headline, it usually means temporary shocks are pushing prices up. A bad harvest, a fuel spike, those things pass. But when core is higher than headline, it means price increases are embedding across the entire economy. Services, manufactured goods, rents, things that do not come back down easily. This is exactly why BNR raised rates to 7.25% 3 weeks ago, and this data suggests they may not be done. If core inflation keeps climbing, expect more rate increases. So what does 9.2% inflation mean for your wallet right now? If your salary has not increased by at least 9% this year, you are earning less than you were 12 months ago. Not in nominal terms, your payslip looks the same, but in terms of what that money can actually buy, you are poorer. If your savings are earning less than 9.2%, they are shrinking. BNR data shows the average deposit rate is 8.98%. That gives you a real return of essentially negative 0.2%. You are treading water at best, and if you are borrowing, with lending rates at 15.72% and likely rising, every loan is more expensive than it was 3 months ago. Be very careful with new debt right now. Looking at the 13-month trend, urban inflation has been climbing steadily all year. It broke above 8% in December and has accelerated sharply since. The monthly increase was 0.9%, slower than January's 1.3%, but still positive. Prices are still rising, just slightly less fast. BNR's own forecast from February said inflation would stay above 8% through the first half of 2026. This data confirms that. We are right on track for an extended period of high prices. 3 things to watch in the coming weeks. 1. The March CPI, releasing April 10th. Will inflation break above 10%? 2. BNR's next Monetary Policy Committee meeting, expected around May. Another rate hike is now on the table. 3. The Season B harvest data. If rains were good, food prices could ease. If not, buckle up. If you want to understand why inflation matters, watch our explainer video here. If you want to protect your money, watch the 5 money mistakes video here. Subscribe to Africa Money for CPI Watch every month. I will be right here the day after every NISR release. See you next time.